welcome. Today's video is going to be more along the self-development and self-growth side. I love anything that has to do with self-development and growing and learning. I love to always say that we're forever learning and forever growing. And if you've been following along with my journey, you'll see that I, as a person, with my healthy lifestyle, with my mindset, with a lot of things in my life, I'm growing and trying to learn more and just kind of work towards becoming the person that I really want to be. And so today I'm gonna do a book review. I know it's really weird. Less a book review, more of like, I'm just gonna tell you the main points of the book and my personal takeaways from them. So today we are talking about Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm sure you've heard about this book. If you clicked on this video, you're either curious about what I thought about the book or you've been thinking about reading this book. So first of all, if you want my recommendation, definitely read it. If you're somebody who is looking to build your habits, to change bad ones, to kind of grow into more of the person you want to be, I highly recommend giving this book a read. It's actually very good. This guy over here, James Clear, basically wrote out everything that he used in his own story, in his own life, to create good habits and make that work in his favor and make him be able to have the dream life that he wanted to have. In this video, I'm just going to tell you the main takeaways because I think that everybody interprets books differently, and I also think that the more times you read a certain book, you also interpret it differently. So here's what I thought of the book and how I interpreted his lessons. So basically the whole book explains that atomic habits are really the key to building a successful life. And he explains it in a way of saying, if you become 1% better every single day throughout your life, you are going to make big progress in your life. And if you just do 1% better every day, it's not something crazy. It's not telling you to do something that is really hard to do. Being 1% better every single day is really attainable. But if you do 1% better every single day, every day moving forward, you're going to make some really big changes and you're going to see your life take a completely different route. The way he explains this is an atomic habit. Think of it as that little 1% change. It's small habits that are put in place in the long term that are going to give you those good results that you want. And then he puts it in the way of one small change every single day will guide your life in a completely different direction. If you think about it, if you choose this or this and you keep choosing this, it'll guide your life this way, or if you keep choosing this, it'll guide your life this way. So if you make one positive change every single day, even though it's minor and it's little, in the long run, it's gonna give you results. The next thing that he presents is that transformations and those positive changes come from small habits every single day rather than overnight transformations. If you're someone who's waiting for an overnight transformation, you're not going to be successful and you're not going to get the results that you want. It's all about having those daily habits and creating those daily habits every day that's going to make you a success, but not overnight. However, you can't just have a habit and not have a system. So systems is a huge thing that he really talks about in the book, and how to create them and how to make sure that basically your life functions on systems and that makes you have that success in your life. So he says that setting a goal is really important because you're going to work towards that goal and eventually you're going to reach it. But you're not going to reach it as well and you're not going to maintain it if you don't have systems in place to make you successful. So what a system does is basically figuring out what you need to do repeatedly to get to your goal. Because if you only have a goal but no system, once you reach that goal, you reach the goal. Now what, right? You reach the goal and you're kind of done with it. Versus if you have a system and you're used to doing something every single day in a very systematic way, once you do reach that goal, great, you reached your goal, but you're going to keep going with that because you have a system in play and it's a habit, and now your body or your mind is so used to it, you're just going to keep going with it. Systems are essentially actionable steps that you plan to work towards a certain goal, and you make it a habit and you basically keep going with it every single day. Basically, in the end, how much you commit to your system is going to determine your progress. So if you're very determined to doing your system every single day and making it a habit, because if something is a system, it becomes a habit, then you're going to be more successful. But if you can't commit, or you're flaky with it, or you miss it, or you do it here and there, your progress is going to be basically the amount of effort that you put into something. Now, the most comforting sentence that he probably said in the book was that if you're not achieving your goals, it's not your fault, it's because of your system or lack thereof. That's not exactly word for word, but that's kind of like the general idea, that the reason you're not achieving your goals is not because you can't do it, it's because your system isn't good or you don't have a system in place to help achieve your goals. So then he goes on to explain basically how goal setting works. So there's basically three main bubbles. So I'll find a graph from his website here, but there's three main bubbles system circles that you can go off of. He calls these the 3 layers of behavioral change. So starting off in the middle, your identity is what you believe. Then the second layer is your process. So that's what you do. And then the third one is outcome, which is what you get. So he explains that a lot of people want the outcome to be the end goal. So you start from the identity, process, and then the outcome. The outcome being like, for example, quit smoking. But he said basically to make it successful, you have to work the opposite way. You have to work towards the identity, and becoming the identity has to be the end goal. So if your outcome is to quit smoking, the identity to match that is, I'm not a smoker. So you have to work towards becoming that identity rather than getting that outcome. Because if you quit smoking, you quit smoking, good. But if you identify yourself as, I'm not a smoker, then that's going to be more successful because you're going to stick to that identity. You're going to keep embodying that identity, and then you're not going to be a smoker. So why would you smoke? So rather than working towards our outcome, we have to work towards the identity of who do we want to be. You have to identify that and then start to embody that person and act as that person. So basically figure out who your identity is, who you want to be, who is the person that does the habit that you're trying to work towards. And then B, prove that to yourself. Prove that that identity is who you are by having small wins every single day. If it's, I want to be able to run a marathon, then your identity is, I'm a marathon runner. And prove it to yourself. Train like a marathon runner, eat like a marathon runner, become a marathon runner, and you're going to run that marathon successfully. But not only that, you're going to be able to keep running those marathons beyond just one marathon because you are going to have the systems in place. You're going to identify yourself as a marathon runner, and you're going to become more successful with it in the long run. Another interesting question that he kind of asked and answered within the book was, will having systems in place make your life boring and take away your freedom? Because you have systems, you function like a robot, and does that make your life boring? But he actually said that in fact it gives you more freedom and it gives you more time to be creative because you have systems in place for the things that you need to do every single day. Thus, you're not using your brain power to think of it, you just kind of do it. So you have a system in the morning, if you have a system in the evening, if you have a system for working out, then you have more time, you have more brain capacity to be creative, to work on those extra things, and to better manage your time rather than scrambling to get it all done. So basically in the end, if you think about it, if the systems you put in place are healthy systems, you're gonna have more freedom. Then James Clear explains kind of how habits work. So how habits work is you have a cue. Something makes you wanna have this habit. You have a craving. Then you have a response, which is doing the habit, and then you have a reward. So basically, in order to make those habits stay and to make them a positive change, you have to make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying, and act on that cue. Whenever you get the cue to do that habit, do it, because you're gonna satisfy the craving, you're gonna get a response, and then you have a reward. You did the habit. Next is the concept of habit stacking, and I love this one, and this is one that I've mainly been implementing into my life. So habit stacking is basically taking a habit that you already have and adding another habit on top of it. So for me, the way I did this is my habit is to have coffee every single day. So one thing that I stacked on top of that habit was to add collagen into my coffee, because collagen was something I wanted to incorporate into my diet every single day. And if I had a coffee every day and I liked the taste of collagen in my coffee, I added collagen into my coffee every single day. So I stacked that habit. Then I even went above and beyond that, and I added drinking a glass of water every single day. I wanted to get more water into my body every day, and I wanted to drink water before coffee every day because it's better for your health. So now my habits is, I wake up, I have a big glass of water, I make my coffee, I add collagen to it, and that's how I've been adding habit stacking into my day every single day. Another way to make it easier to do your good habits is to create an environment that helps you do those habits. So if one of your habits that you want to do is to read more, he suggests leaving books out or leaving books somehow in your decor so you see them more. If you want to take your vitamins in the morning, leave them out on the counter the night before. So that way visually you see that habit and you're reminded to do it. If you want to work out every morning, lay your workout clothes out and lay your gym shoes out and just be ready. So that way when you wake up, all you have to do is put it on and you can go to the gym. Make your environment help you by creating visual cues, because that's what you see, right? We walk around and we see things. So if you see the things that you want to make a good habit, it's going to make it a lot easier for you. If you want to eat more fruits, buy a nice fruit bowl and have them in the middle of your table. Don't hide the fruits away somewhere in a corner where you're not going to notice them. Hide them hide them, put them in the middle. You're gonna see them more, you're gonna be reminded to eat them. But what do you do if there's a habit that you know you should do, you know it's good for you, but it's really hard to do? He suggests kind of changing the wording and your mindset around that habit. So basically in saying, I have to go to the gym, change it to I get to. Instead of I have to, say I get to. I get to go to the gym. I have to eat healthy. I get to eat healthy. And it kind of automatically changes your mindset to think, okay, I mean, yeah, I don't want to, but I get to do it. And in a sense, that makes you feel like you're lucky to be able to do it. So it makes it a little bit more appealing. Now the big question is, how long do you have to do a habit in order to be able to make it stick? That's the big question, right? There's different theories of you gotta do it for X amount of time and X amount of time. How long do you do a habit before it sticks? He basically explained that time, how long you do it, does not matter. It's just the frequency. If you do something very, very frequently, you get used to doing it and you'll be implementing it into your life much faster. There's no set timeline that you have to do it for 30 days, you have to do it for 90 days. It's all about the frequency. So if you do it more frequently, it's likely to become a part of your routine and a good habit, and you're going to be successful with it versus if you don't do it as frequently. And he basically says, never skip a habit twice. So it's normal, we're all human. Sometimes we'll skip a day if our habit is to work out every day or if our habit is to have a smoothie every day. We will miss it from time to time, but he basically says he never misses it twice. Then he said this really good thing, and I'm just gonna read it here because I don't wanna mess it up. Anyone can work hard when they are motivated. It's the ability to keep going when work isn't exciting that makes the difference, which is super true. It can be so fun and easy to work on something when you're excited, when you're motivated. You buy the new gym clothes, you get the membership, you're excited to work out, and 2 weeks goes by and you're like, I'm really over it and I really don't want to do this anymore. So it's really the people that keep going when that motivation and all of that dies down that really end up getting more successful in the end. So now I'm going to end off this video with my favorite saying from the book. I love this because it has to do with the whole self-development and self-growth thing. Progress requires unlearning. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. We all know that's what I'm about. I say that we're forever learning, forever changing, and that we constantly, with the things that we're acquiring and learning, are changing to become versions of ourselves. So with that being said, that concludes my little book review slash main takeaways from Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm going to link this book down below. Highly recommend it. It's a really, really good read. I mean, obviously I just went over kind of the main takeaways, but this book is big, so there's definitely a lot more lessons. He also uses a lot of stories, so a lot of like practical facts and stories in it, and I just think it's a really good eye-opening book if you're someone who feels like they're stuck in a rut, or that they try to implement these things and they just can't seem to be successful. So thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help to support me, my channel. It helps also share my video. The YouTube algorithm pushes it further to other people. So just a simple thumbs up truly does help a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Know yourself, know your body, and until next time.